Hey, it's October 21st, it's Friday, and it's time for the news. The top story is pretty obvious, 7.1 is dropping. So if you've been keeping track, we're going to be returning to Karazhan as soon as Tuesday, and 2 weeks from then we're going to be going into the Trier of Valor raid. That aside, Blizzard just put out a post detailing some of the kind of non-group content, or solo content, if you will. There are going to be additional quests that are going to unlock over the course of 9 weeks involving the Nightfallen and the whole Suramar questline. In order to start that, at least from the looks of it, you probably need to have completed the entire questline up till now. So you need to have Exalted Rep, you need to get the Suramaritarian achievement, I forgot what it's called. You pretty much got to finish everything, and then from there open your adventure guide, you get a prompt to start a quest called Lockdown, you go over to Shalaran and then go to town. On top of that, there are going to be more world quests involving the Valajar or the Helajar, is that what it's called? The Helajar. Yeah, I'm not even going to double check and correct myself. I'm just going to call it the Helajar. There's more world quests to get more cooking recipes. There's more battle pets to capture over in some of the old raids. You even go down all the way to Alcaz Island down in, the old world to get some pets. So I'm pretty stoked. I mentioned in an earlier video that I was looking for something that would kind of help bridge the narrative between major patches, between raids and dungeons and things like that. So something like this that is helping to kind of prolong the story or kind of keep things fresh, give things a long tail. I think that's really cool. And I've already said this before, but I'm going to say it again. One of the coolest quality of life features that's going to come with the patch is the return of the action cam. You might have had a very brief experience with that shortly after the 7-something patch had dropped. So when that comes, check it out, or there might be some add-ons that are available for it. The one that I'm probably going to be using is one that I had showcased before called DynamicCam. So maybe I'll do an add-on guide on that. I said that I was going to do add-on guides and things like that, and I hella haven't done it, so I'm gonna give that a shot. If you've been PvPing and you're in a similar situation like me, or you have prestiged and you don't have a lot of talent and you really miss having that talent that makes you run on the horse and you kind of knock people around and you can run for a heck of a long time, don't worry, you're going to unlock all the talents that you had previously unlocked before you had prestige, thank goodness. Hallow's End started earlier this week, giving players a chance to get candies and costumes and silly little hats, and of course further chances of disappointment because the Headless Horseman mount isn't going to drop. The good folks of Reddit happened to find a hidden boss in freaking Gnomergan of all places. Gnomergan? Is that how it's pronounced? Gnomergan? Gnomer? Yeah, Gnomer. Wait, it's an Alliance instance. Who cares? But the quick summary is that at the end of the instance, you go around the boss, you hit a button, you do some stuff, and then a crazy boss comes out. I haven't done it yet, but from the sounds of it, it looks like it's going to be a pretty brutal boss. You probably want to go in with a decent amount of gear. This guy has like 200 million life. It drops a toy, and it doesn't seem like it's going to have like a super rare spawn rate or a limited availability, so go in at your leisure. I have to admit that when the BlizzCon early sale went by, I looked at stuff, I ended up not getting anything, even though I saw some pretty cool stuff. But one thing that I kind of skipped over was that there was a World of Warcraft cookbook. I don't remember too well, but I really thought that they had released something like this before. But well, when I took a closer look at it, I found out that wow, this is quite a monster of the book. This thing has 216 pages of all sorts of different kinds of recipes that take care of like different kind of dietary needs, food preferences. Heck, it even has like alcoholic drinks in there. So, maybe I'll bring something like that for BlizzCon. I don't know. But then again, we're doing margaritas. Or was it just shots? But dude, BlizzCon is 2 weeks from today. That's pretty much all I gotta say about it, because I keep talking about it. But I'm still gonna talk about it next Friday, and I'm gonna talk about it the day before I leave too. So I'll give you some more details on what this channel is gonna be doing for BlizzCon. Anyway, back to that cookbook. I was looking at the stuff on Amazon, and people seem to really like the book. So if you are a cook, or if you're not a cook and you're interested in taking a look at that stuff, go ahead into Amazon's webpage, check that out. But while I was there, I happened to see that the World of Warcraft Chronicles Volume 2 book is going to be coming. It's already on pre-order, and it'll be available March 14th, 2017. I already pre-ordered the guy, and I probably should double check to make sure that it's not like a fake thing, because usually I see, places like MMO Champion or even the WoW website, they'll put out some sort of alert or a news thing, but it should be okay. The only thing we have on it is the cover, but of course it's very obvious that it's going to cover a lot of the more recent stuff. I mean, the first book encompassed like eons, tens of thousands of years of history. But now that we're going into realms of the story that are more familiar to us, we're going to get a lot more details, a lot more explanations on probably everything. But I'm excited. I loved Volume 1. I'm going to love Volume 2. It's going to make the lore fanatics like flip their shit. The main thing of the day is more like an extended thought that I had from an earlier video that I'd done this week, but I just wanted to kind of save that for the news. I don't know why. I think I just wanted to have a main thing to talk about for a few minutes. Well, actually, it's two things now. One, it's regarding the Karazhan instance as well as an older instance that we have done, the Assault on Violet Hold. And both of those instances, they do not have a Mythic mode or a Mythic Plus mode. They only have a Mythic mode, and the Assault on Violet Hold has a normal mode, a level 100 mode, whatever. But there's no Mythic Plus mode, and there are reasons behind that. Of course, with Violet Hold, because it's a kind of a timed wave sort of instance, the timer doesn't matter. So why, what would the purpose of having a Mythic Plus, what would it do? On top of that, the bosses are random, so even if there was kind of a pseudo timer, how do you kind of gauge that with a random boss spawn? The only way around that would be to either fight every boss, or you would fight just kind of a selection of bosses for the sake of time, I guess? I don't know. But it is kind of a bummer for people who are like, oh man, the itemization on like that trinket or that ring or on that piece of gear is like a lot better than anything else that's out there, and they can't really farm for it because they can't upgrade it to Mythic Plus. And the same goes for Karazhan. There is a lot of loot in Karazhan. Some loot more interesting than others. It's more interesting than the Trial of Valor loot, to be honest. But you only have one difficulty in Karazhan. All you got is a Mythic. It doesn't go to Mythic Plus, presumably because I think they had said that it was because it was too long, which makes sense, but come on, that really limits the viability of the instance from a progression standpoint. From a story standpoint and from a simple experience standpoint, I think it's going to be great. I think a lot of people are going to be running it at least once. It's just that there's not a lot of long tail viability for it, at least among like progression raiders and things like that. Now, I have not done the instance in the PTR. Yeah, I know, I'm a pretty crappy YouTuber because I don't do freaking dungeon previews. That's kind of a big thing that these people do, right? So I don't know what the full layout of the instance is going to be, but I'll at least make this suggestion anyway. I think it'd be cool if there was a way to kind of split the instance into two wings, at least for Mythic Plus. Oh, should I have been saying Keystone Dungeon this whole time? You know what? Whatever, dude. For the supercalifragilisticexpialidocious mythic version of Karazhan, split it into two instances. That's it. Okay, maybe that's not it, because I don't know what the trash pools are. If there's like, one side will have not a lot of trash, the other has like hella trash, and then there's the multiple opera encounters to consider. Obviously, I'm thinking of this as I'm recording, which is like a super terrible idea. But you know what? Think of something. Do something like that, because I think it would be a really good way to extend the life of the instance beyond just experiencing it once or twice on each character. Or to just farm for a transmog, or to give players another reason to be pissed off because they're like, oh, well, my super best in slot thingamajig is in Karazhan if it was like super duper Titan Forged. So F you Blizzard, RNG sucks, whatever. The second thing I wanted to talk about was wondering what's going to happen, what's the world first race going to be like for the Trial of Valor? I'm sure that when it comes to the 1% of high-end rating, you're going to see like Exorcist and Method or Serenity, whoever, you're going to see those folks still kind of take this seriously and try to push it as hard as they can, so of course they can get that world first accolade or get it again. At the same time though, you got to consider that it's only been about 2 months or so since the expansion launched, and there's only so much like sick time that people have available. I'm sure that most of the raiders that are coming from these teams, they have typical lives, they have jobs, they have bosses, they have people to answer to and families and all that stuff. So I don't have my ear pointed to them. I haven't looked at any posts to see like what their declaration is going to be regarding the Trial of Valor raid. And on top of that, it's not a new tier, it's mid tier. It's only 5 item levels higher than the Emerald Nightmare raid. So you also got to think that the top end guilds, they're going to have like an item level that's way past what it really should be. Unlike the timing of the Emerald Nightmare, at least I believe, back then people could only use 1 legendary, so by now they should be able to wear 2. I got a feeling that regarding like the item level and their legendary availability, they're gonna just truck through this thing like it's almost nothing. So I'm wondering what your guys' thoughts are. Should they take this raid as seriously as they take other tier raids like the Emerald Nightmare? I'm pretty sure that they're going to take this seriously for the Nighthold, but does the Trial of Valor really matter when it comes to the prestige of the world first race? And also, do you think that since they've had so much time since the Emerald Nightmare raid to just gear the crap up, do you guys think that there's going to be a further perception that, oh, this first tier of raiding is so easy because these two, you know, these guilds were able to just smash their face into it and wipe it out in just a day or so? I think most of us who are in casual raid teams or groups, while we don't see like a whole lot of awesome gear that's going to be coming out of the Trial of Valor raid, it's a freaking relic pinata. I mean, look at the loot tables. You're going to be like, ooh, I can do this boss, and you know, I can do this on normal, then I'll do it on heroic, and then I'll get into a pug. And you know, I don't even know if they're going to do an LFR. Have they talked about that yet? I'm not sure. Anyway, that's going to be it for me this week. Let me know your thoughts and feelings and questions or anything like that. Oh, and by the way, congrats to the channel for hitting more than 2,000 subs. Yeah! I don't have YouTube up right now. I'm not exactly sure what the exact number is, but I'd like to see how close we get to 3,000 before BlizzCon. But thank you guys tons for all the support so far. I'm really happy to get like your questions and your criticism, even like the debates that I'll have with folks that totally disagree and hate me for the views that I have. That's okay too. I'm glad to at least, you know, trade blows and talk with you guys and try to get some understanding out of each other. So again, that's it for me. Anything that I was able to link, I'll have linked in the description below for you to look at more information. And otherwise, you guys have a good weekend. I'm Soul. Stay breezy, guys.